G'day everyone, just taking a quick moment to sponsor myself and remind you to check out the Teespring store. My latest design, the Halloween Hellcat, is up and available right now, so check it out. Links
G'day
in the
everyone,
description
just
below.
taking a quick moment to sponsor myself and remind you to check out the Teespring.
Oh, I am the most fantastic idiot in the world, aren't I? I forgot to turn the mic on. Sorry, Scooter. I did say hello. Oh, god damn it. How you doing, guys? Just get used to it. I'm going to be streaming more and more often, and I guarantee to you every single stream is going to have some level of fuck up in it. It's just, that is going to be my thing. It's going to be kind of like in Sims. I'm going to have to write off at least one aircraft when I come in for landing, because that is my thing. I was actually just saying, I don't particularly like the battle type where you're trying to launch the missiles in this, because people tend to rush forward, and because of how long it takes... Uh-oh, that's not good. Let's dive down. We're getting a bit tight here. Because of how long it takes to actually get a torpedo on site, and it only takes about 30 seconds to cap them out and launch the missiles, they tend to be over really quickly. They're just rust jobs. They're a waste of time. These are much better. So what I'm trying to do is go directly south at this point and get in on the southern shoreline in between those ballistic missile submarines. And I'm going to use that as a hidey hole in one of the ravines in there to shoot down and try and cross the center of the map. I've had fairly good luck the last time in the event doing this. I'm going to do it again. Started a Microsoft Flight Simulator career out of Cairns because of your video. That's awesome, mate. I'm going to be probably doing another one of those soon. I don't think I'm going to use On Air, but I've been recommended, because On Air's got a subscription service behind it, and there's a couple of things that are a little buggy about it. Like, it will penalize you, at least in some of the aircraft, regardless for having your lights on or off, regardless of whether or not you're meant to have them on or off. I think there's still a few little issues with it, but I got recommended another one, which is pretty good. Oh, apparently pretty good. That's free. So I'm going to probably give that a crack sometime soon. But I'm going to do a little bit of world flying soon enough. The patch for the update to Japan has come out. Well, that's been out for a while now, and I haven't really flown there much, and I do love flying Japan. There's that mountain I spotted south of Seattle that I want to go and land on, and the mod team from DCS released the MB229 to Microsoft Flight Simulator, and you know, I always said that was a good enough mod in DCS that if they charged for it, I'd pay for it. Well, they're charging for it. It's just in Microsoft Flight Simulator, so I'm going to pay for it because I think it's worth it. Come on, sneaky boat, let's not take out the rocks. I do think they've also changed the handling of the submarines since the last event. They feel a lot more wallowy than they should. They just sort of, they're all over the shop. Pretty close to where I want to be. Looks like red team's already lost a few here. Neofly. Yeah, I think Neofly is the one that I was recommended, actually. I'll have to double check. But yeah, like, I'd have no problem... Well, I would have a problem paying with one. I still think this should be standard functionality for Flight Simulator. But I would have less of a problem if I had all of the aircraft that I actually really want to fly and build into a campaign available. But unfortunately, they're not available yet. So if I'm going to do one of these, I want to keep it cheap because I've got, hopefully, C-130s and Caribous and Globemasters and crap to buy at some point. All stop. Right. And what's disappeared? We want to advance a little bit further up, so keep it at 1/3. Looks like another Vanguard that's just next to us at the moment. We can't see it, but it's right there in the dark. I was also saying the first match when I had the mic off that what they need to do is they need to make the ultrasonics in the top left-hand corner. They need to make that the make it a view option for the standard view. So you can see the real camera for what's going on around you with all the pretty lighting and the underwater effects and all that. And then you can hit V, like, change to cockpit view in air combat. Or, maybe zoom functionality, the zoom button. Because what the hell use is zoom in a submarine? Having zoom bound has no purpose. But have one of those set up to switch to the ultrasonic view. Yeah, most people will play in the ultrasonic view all the time, but, that's... Yeah, that would work better, I think. Alright, nearly time to start hunting. So what I'm going to do once I get a little bit further up, there's a bit of a depression you can see on the right-hand side. I want to get a little bit left of where I need to be, so I want to make a bit of a right here. I want to sit just over the top of that, because it's deep enough to be able to hide this submarine in, but it only has one exit to the rear, so I'd have to be completely flanked in order to have somebody get in behind me. And so I can sit above it. If a torpedo comes in, you can dip down into it, and then lob the torpedoes to go hunting. And it doesn't appear that anybody else is over here, because if they were, I'd be getting hit by torpedoes already. We might actually go a little bit further along. You're just thinking that the main camera doesn't give you a whole lot of info. Yeah, it's for pretty pictures. It would be, the main camera as it exists now would be perfectly fine, and I think this is where they might be going with it in the long run, because let's face it, everybody likes submarines. And, World Warships is doing it, so of course Gaijin's going to try. It would be perfectly fine with a U-boat, or something on those lines. Because they don't get down much further than about 50 meters. I'm at 160 meters at the moment, and I've barely got visibility. If I go beyond 200, it's pitch black, and at 300, this sub starts crushing. But for a U-boat that has a maximum depth of, 50 meters, maybe 75 tops, you would still have light, and you would have some kind of view. So yeah, that would work. It's a camera that's designed for something that doesn't go deep. Whereas the, even if you took the submarine out, the ultrasonics, being able to send the ultrasonics full screen, would be very useful. And we have a contact left. Torpedo is active. Come on, find it. There's a Yasin over here. Or a Yasin. Got it, got it, got it, got it, got it. It's hidden in the rocks just there. Or around the back of the rocks. I think it's around the back of the rocks. Damn it, I don't think I'm going to have enough cable to make a turn back. No, I'm not. I think there's two sneaky shits just up in this section. Active. Nope, we lost it. Enemy sonar, Virginia class. That's it having a ping. Well, where are it? There it is. 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 Hi! Gotcha. Alright. So we just hold position for a moment and just see exactly what else is going on. Countermeasure popped off to our right. That will be one of theirs. Yep, right up the arse. Right up the aft. Alright, enemy sonar submarine. That is a ping from spawn. Got one left before reload. Yeah, let's send over there and see what they've got. Need to get more pings as it is. Got a Virginia just ahead of us. Somewhere. Where is it? One on the surface. That might be an AI, actually. That one. Yep, that was a Vanguard. That was a an AI ballistic missile sub. You can see what I'm doing over here. I've got a big enough hole underneath me here that I can just go down if anything comes my way, drop a countermeasure and just disappear down the hole, and the torps will never find me. And nearly reloaded. Got combat. Somewhere in the center. We dodge the iceberg that's just ahead of us. The mechanics itself for this aren't terrible. They do need a lot more refinement. I'm actually surprised that it isn't a lot more different than it was sort of the last time we had this event. They don't appear to have done much other than make the yeah, I'm about to run out. We can't make that one, so I'm gonna have to advance. Enemy sonar, Virginia. Go active. Yeah, they don't appear to have done much to it. Another one on the surface there. Can't find the Virginia, so I'll just turn up. Come on, don't run out of cable. Turn in, turn in, turn in. Contact just off of our port. Out of curiosity, which of these nations actually has the longest range torps? I haven't checked in War Thunder. I can tell you the Yasin dives to the deepest depth, which I'm not sure if that's accurate. But it's by a significant margin. I don't think there should be a huge amount of difference there. In regards to torpedoes, I'm actually not entirely sure. IRL, how long is a piece of string? Nobody's going to tell us how long those torpedoes actually go for. We can make some assumptions on some of the older models, but the ones we know any accurate information about are not the ones that they're actually using. Now, there was torpedoes launched from up here, and they looked like... It didn't look like they were that deep. Potentially around the icebergs. Active sonar, yes, in class. Come on, come on, get up, get up, get up, get up, get up. There it is. And I'm not going to have enough cable to make the turn back. bastards hidden in between the icebergs. Alright, clever, 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 clever. Got him to drop a countermeasure, though. Yeah, for the event subs, I have a sneaking suspicion it's a much of a muchness. I don't think there's much different in the torpedoes. Alright, 2 more out. But I would have to check. The main differences that I've spotted so far are the ones that are sort of listed. You've got the Asin is the loudest and the fastest and the deepest diving. So she's got the least amount of stealth, but she'll get to wherever she needs to go in a real hurry, and she can go to the bottom. The Virginia is the quietest, medium depth, and medium speed, roughly. Damn it, missed. And I'm not going to have enough speed. Gotta wait for the torpedo. Torpedoes are now reloaded. We'll fall about another one here. And the British. God, I've forgotten the name. Vanguard. Vanguard's pretty much medium across the board. Medium depth, medium speed, medium noise. So, yeah, jack of all trades, master of none. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing. The whole game mode is basically playing hide and seek with torpedoes, essentially. That's the noisemaker. And yeah, I still can't see anything over here because of it. Yeah, we've got two. It's got two more torps over there that are both hunting at both blue torps. I'm not the only one trying to find this one at the moment. It'll be running at 1/3 or 0 and just drifting. And it's using the countermeasures, which don't work exactly how countermeasures actually work. The countermeasures seem to just effectively blind anything, active or passive sonar in a particular area. So stuff just won't sort of show up. Okay. Essentially just a case of let's make up the numbers as we go. Yeah, pretty much, which is what War Thunder's done with any of its, anywhere where there's a bit of a question in regards to the actual performance stats of anything that they've put in. Any weapon systems that were only prototype, that were never fully tested, or anything that's top secret. I mean, all the bloody armor blocks inside of the MBTs, the actual numbers on those are still classified even today. So I think the original numbers they actually got from another sim, Steel Beasts or Armored. I can't remember which one it was. It's a civilian tank sim that's based on the military one. I think they pulled a bunch of numbers from that and then they adjusted them as needed to something that worked within the game. But nobody knows what the real numbers are because they don't get talked about. Yep, this thing's right in front of me and it's just dropped another countermeasure, so I'm not going to be able to see it. Which, from a gameplay standpoint is fine. I mean, War Thunder isn't a sim. In the past, I used to criticize them for it, but the reality was, the bit that annoyed me is that they were kind of marketing themselves as a sim. And that was the issue. Where is it? No, oh wait. Right there, shit, they're on top of one another. That's why I couldn't find it. That Vanguard is running right alongside The Yassen. Damn it, damn it, damn it, damn it. And because there's countermeasures out, I can't see either of them on my ultrasonics. Yassen was this way. That was the mountain. This poor guy probably thinks I'm firing torpedoes at him at the moment. What's he trying to do? Trying to get him broadside? It did look like it. The thing is, like, if you have a look on the map on the right-hand side, you can see my little yellow dot in the middle of my circle. The green circle is the maximum range of my passive sonar. The little red dot that was a larger circle before, that's my detection range. If that Yassen has drifted itself down to like 1 or 2 knots and is just drifting along with its engine shut down, it'll have a dot that's about that small as well. And it can be right next to you and you won't see it. I got a kill earlier on today, and I fired the torpedoes out of the tube, and I swear the torpedo only went forward about half a boat length, and it exploded on the bow of another... Shit. Dive, 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 dive. Gee. Oh, it was close. And now I disappear. Whoa, no, too deep, too deep, too deep. Up, 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 up. This is the other thing I don't like. You see, I'm doing 23. I've just had to go to half back to try and slow myself down. Changing depth increases speed. I'm pretty sure the submarines are actually using, the reason why they feel so wallowing at the moment, I don't think they're using the same quote-unquote flight model that they used last time we played. I think they're using the helicopter one. Which is why changing the pitch angle actually causes forward and rear movement. Which it shouldn't. But I reckon that's what it's doing. We're actually flying underwater helicopters at the moment. Alright, so we seem to have stabilized. And yes, apologies. Yes, it's pitch black. There's not much I can do about it. This is what I mean. They need to make the ultrasonics full screen. I'm just giving myself a second here. I'm pretty sure those torpedoes are looking for me. They're past. Nothing else appears to be coming there. There we go. You can almost see what's going on there. So there should be 2, at least, out here somewhere. Oh, where are you sneaky shits that are lobbing shots at me? Was something off to our right there. We picked it up on the edge of our sonar. Virginia class. There it is. That's probably the one that's hunting me. I've got you now. Whoa, that was a nice last second depth change. And I've lost it completely. It's just what I mean. It's just disappeared. And I'm going to run out of cable before I find it again. Active. There you are. Didn't dodge me that time. Oh, it's the unicorn guy again. That's the second time I've killed him. I might sit here just right on top of my countermeasure and just disappear for a little, I think. You can go faster than 40 to 50 knots if you know how. Yeah, if you wiggle it the right way. I think I was up to, I don't know what I hit. It was the first or second match that I played is when I realized that something is funky about the, again, quote-unquote, flight model. I think I hit like 140 kilometers an hour submerged. I'm thinking, no, that's not how this works. Funny, but not how this works. Right, so where is the other one? There is another one that is out here, because I just saw it launch a torpedo. Yeah, the whole flight model that they're using is kind of funky. And as I said, I reckon... I might get... There it is, there it is. Gotcha. Gonna go active. Hopefully that'll hit. Yep, I did. I hit it. The cable runs out, but it doesn't mean the torpedo actually doesn't continue on. So, if you're good at what you do, in the last second, if you've got a target right in front of you and it's lined up straight, go to manual guidance, and the torpedo will hit. It'll continue on and it'll hit target. I gotta find it again. To top it off, I'm trying to maneuver my sub at the same time. Oh shit, didn't activate it. They know where I am, but right now I'm just dodging. Mission failed. Oh. Yeah, like the concept isn't bad. Play with the USSR for a second. The concept isn't bad, it's just, it needs a lot of refinement, and I don't think it's been refined particularly well this time around. But it's still fun. Sitting in the dark trying to lob torpedoes at one another. It's still fun. Alright. Soviet Russia's super weapon. I actually don't even know what side I'm going to spawn on. Random point, we'll see where we pop up. Now with the Yasin... Alright, so we're south point, so I'm going to go the same direction again, but this time I'm going to rush in. Just flank speed. Whoa! Popping a Virginia in right in front of me. Not a great idea with this thing. It's not wanting to do it now. That's odd. Diving like that, I got up to past 100 in the last time I drove this thing. This time I seem to be stuck. I wonder if they've maybe patched it. Maybe hot patched it. I think they're testing TV guided missiles for helis with this event. I don't think so. The torpedoes, while the submarines are handling differently, the torpedoes are handling exactly the same as they did last time. They would have no reason to really test it. This, as I said, the only thing that's changed between the last time submarines was done and now is that helicopters has become more of a thing, and it feels like the helicopter flight model has been... Well, it's possible the submarine was testing, again, part of the helicopter flight model back then. But it feels like they're using it even more now. We can get through this tunnel. That'd be a good spot to go. Rift is... Like you can see if you I'm not sure if it'll show up on the 720p. The balance in the top left-hand corner. It's like the sub is rolling in the way you would expect a non-fixed rotor to wobble a little bit as you're trying to yaw change direction. That's not something that a submarine does. But it's what this one is doing, which is exactly what the helicopters would do. Yeah, I would expect a bit more development if they were doing anything different or testing anything for it. I think they might have just put this up because they didn't have a Halloween event. And, you know, Wargaming did, which is usually normally their thing. This year, they didn't really need to worry too much, though. Wargaming's Halloween event's not all that great. My funky, cool, undead aesthetic monster zombie ships that they've had for the last few years, they decided to go with essentially Monster Hunter Halloween edition with ships this year, which doesn't feel very Halloween-y. It's more sci-fi and yeah, it looks like you're playing Monster Hunter on the world that Avatar's based on. It's not particularly Halloween-y, and that's what they've gone for this year, which I'm kind of disappointed about. I like the normal event. I've said in the past, I'd play a game based around the aesthetic of Wargaming's Halloween event. Ships included. I like it. It was like playing competitive Sunless Sea. It was great. And yeah, they've kind of done away with it this year, which is sad. I did see the Long Darks one. I'm not gonna lie, I'm considering installing it to have a look. That does look interesting. Sort of a survival horror being chased by a monster that you can't see. There's some parts of that trailer for it that are genuinely friggin' creepy to see. I'm just not sure if I'll have time. Like, I'm finding a little bit of time to stream at the moment, and it's because, as I said on the hard space, well, and I think I'm clipping the wall here at the moment. Said on the hard space stream last night, it takes a little bit of less time to put these up, and I can put up a lot more content, which is good because I'd rather put up something that gives you an hour of something to watch than 15 minutes. Yep, I'm drifting into the wall here. Although, if I can get the nose away, riding a bit here. This might actually not be a bad place to hide if I can get the nose off. It's just at the moment I'm going to drive torpedoes directly into the wall. Game, come on. Let me turn off. I'm full rudder over. Fine, 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 fine. I'll back it up. I'll back it up. See, it doesn't help that if I had an ultrasonic view of the externals of the ship, I could actually see what I'm stuck on and how I'm stuck. TLDR's events running to like November 13th, I think, and if you play it once, you unlock it forever. Ah, that's definitely worth it then. Alright, I'm changing depth to see if I can get off this damn wall. Risk of collision. I'm bouncing the rudders off the wall. Jesus. There we go. Now I've got some room to turn. Alright, let's... No, 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 no. Come on, turn, turn, turn. Point the nose away from the wall. Right, there we go. Again, the controls really, really, really screwy. I'm also moving left. I'm constantly moving left here. I'm drifting left into this wall. Right, I'll stop. Okay. That's absolutely not how I wanted to get to where I wanted to go, but I guess this'll do. Yeah, I think I'll have to install a Long Dark then and have a look, because that does look interesting. I do like the look of that event a lot. Alright, torpedo active. Two countermeasures ahead. One of those is allied. Alright, that's going to go this way. I'm just going to set this to self-homing. And just let the cable run out and just send it straight down that way and see if it finds something. Active sonar directly ahead. AI. That'll be one of the AI boomers. Yep, that's one of the vanguards on the surface, so that's one. And points for the team. You also notice the Russian torpedoes, they can fire more of them in a single salvo because they got more tubes. Something detonated in front of us. Potential torpedo launch that hit a wall or something, maybe? I'll send that active and I'll just let it do its self-homing. There's an engagement happening over here. The noisemaker there is most likely... that's ours. torpedo to go past. They've got one of theirs further up. Please don't be... Oh, shit. Don't be at that depth. Nothing over there. Nothing that I could see in the time that I had. What am I doing? At the moment, I'm just sort of probing around. I'm hidden against a wall over here, which isn't actually a bad spot to be in. And I'm trying to see whether or not I can find these hostile subs, but we're not finding them at the moment, so I'm going to have to move in. So I'm going to go to do 2/3 ahead. And I'll make a left around the edge of this wall. We'll pull away from this wall a little if we can. Make a left around it and sort of head out into the midsection and see if I can find somebody to duel. Back to 1. The lighting's a little funky too. I don't recall it having that sort of an effect the last time I played it as well. The lighting was pretty good last time. I think the visuals are better this time. But the light just sort of dropping out like that, it's a bit weird. Alright, let's go active. If we can find anything in our search range. And at the moment, no returns. So let's go to full ahead. We're going to have to cut across the basin in the center and try and get into the ridge lines on the far side and see whether or not we can get close enough. So it looks like they're all coming out of the other side and fighting up there. Not a bad looking boat, this either. We'll stop. Torpedo away. There's one over here. You saw the torpedo launch a second ago, and I should be close enough to be able to hit it. Do an active ping as well. Whoa, what the hell? Okay, I must be playing in Russian servers at the moment. Ping is 539 at the moment. Yeah, bad network connection again. Okay, that's not good. I'm assuming you guys can still hear me. And this isn't my net crapping out thing. This is actually just Gaijin being Gaijin at the moment. Hey, Admiral. Stream is good? Alright, so the stream is good. So for once, it's not my net connection. There, that is, yeah, 500 ping. Ugh. I have Russian servers disabled, so it shouldn't have put me on them, but obviously the event puts me on them anyway. Well, that's going to be a problem. Oh well, Australian issues, I'll just keep playing through it anyway. Give me an active. Ping just off the right. Yasin class. know it's over here. What was that? Now I've lost it. Guess other people had fish out. Yeah, could have. That could have been it getting taken out. Hey Mozza, how's it going? So we're not having a hell of a lot of luck here. Fishing's getting really poor. Right, so let's go up to flank. We're going to push right in. Try and close in with the Asim we've got over here. Give him some cover. We'll drop depth a little so we don't take out... Well, I know we got a bit of space. Let's go active again. And let's go full back to stop. Alright, there is something right in front of us still. Let's go find it. Or try to anyway. To that open water on your right side, try nosing up to the surface. Yeah, I'll pop the surface for you if you like. Alright, active on. That'll be an AI, unfortunately. Did it hit anyway? Yes, it did. Alright, so that's one of the AI Virginias. Another Song of Australia, bad network connection. Yes, there's a reason why I restrain some of the servers I play on. On bad internet days, which this isn't one, because I wouldn't be able to stream otherwise. I sometimes even have to cut off Europe. But, yeah, the event must be putting me on Russia. Ah, well. What have we got? Let's go back to Hangar for a second. No, that was just to EU, unless it put me on Russia without my permission. RU is disabled for the event. So that's nasty. It's been doing that to you too? Oh, okay, it might just, yeah. Don't really want to take EU out. That's going to extend our times by a significant margin, but... Oh, well, we might do a couple more. This is going to be a relatively short stream. I just wanted to play a couple of games, have a chat to you guys, because I've still got to do some design stuff as well, and I might be back later on tonight to do another stream. So we might roll something else out here. I might roll out some tanks for a quick round. What have we got? T30 lineup. What have I actually got racked up? German small lineup. Actually, you guys tell me. Do you want me to jump into a plane, or do you want me to jump into a tank? Or do you want me to jump into a boat and see if I can even find a match? Since we've apparently got dreadnoughts coming at some point. So I am going to have a look at that, I guess. I get some of your YouTube videos to catch up on, so a short stream is all good. I've been enjoying the Star Wars series. Yeah, look, the multiplayer isn't terrible. It's not... I sort of don't want to spoil anything to do with the campaign because I am on... I've all but completed it at this point. I'm doing a couple of passes on what is essentially the final mission. But the multiplayer isn't bad, but it's a bit... I'm not sure it's going to have the legs. You could get away with a small number of maps and objective design layouts if there was a complexity to it, but it took the game all of 3 days to find a meta, and that meta's going to stick without massive overhauls. And if they overhaul it, because there is so few options to choose from, a new meta will establish itself within days of whatever they change. So that is what it is. But it's not terrible. The single player, the campaign, is nothing more than a glorified tutorial mission. You get tutorial pop-ups all the way to the end of the game. And they're tutorial pop-ups that repeat. So you'll start getting tutorial pop-ups for things that you've already gotten tutorial pop-ups for. World of Warships commander skills. Yeah. It's I'm going to complete it because I do want it on record. But the reason why I want the single player campaign on record for Star Wars Squadrons is because what I'm intending to do is there's a mod for X-Wing Alliance that overhauls it graphically. It's not up to par with Squadrons. Squadrons is a very pretty game graphically. It's really great, but it looks pretty damn good. It puts it a game that was released in 1999, and it elevates it to a solid, between 2008 and 2012 title, depending on if you're looking at sort of a double A level game to an indie title. So it puts it into that sort of a graphical area, which is good, and that's perfectly fine. I don't mind that in the slightest. But there's also another modder who is using the newly modded engine for X-Wing Alliance that is currently in the process of rebuilding every single mission and redoing every single line of dialogue for the mission briefings and for the in-game comms and the works for TIE Fighter inside of that engine. The entirety of TIE Fighter recreated in the upgraded modded X-Wing Alliance engine. As soon as that's released, I'm putting that on channel. I'm going to play through the entire game from start to finish. So I want Squadrons up as a point of comparison. This is what an EA-supported professional studio did, and this is what a modder did in his backyard. Because I'm sort of disappointed. A little. TIE Fighters should be squishy. That's what made the fun for me. Yeah. Actually, no, I got the 0 racked up. Let's just take the 0 out for a spin. Air realistic battles. Yeah, I'm probably going to put some multiplayer up for it as well, but I had great hopes for it. Not only because it was a return to Star Wars Starfighter type gameplay, which has basically been abandoned for 20 years. It really has. The last real one we had, as I said, was X-Wing Alliance, which was released in 1999. So it was not even the 2000s, not even the current millennium was the last time one of these was released. But I also sort of had great hopes for it because of the Star Citizen problem. I support Star Citizen. I think Star Citizen will be released. When it will be released, I don't know, but it'll be released. And I think it'll be fantastic when it is. Unfortunately, what Star Citizen was meant to do was release a single-player game, Squadron 42, which it is, that will be fantastic and sort of bring back Starfighter combat as a game mode that died in the 90s. Now it's actually killing it. And the reason why it's killing it is because the suits that sign the checks for development studios that want to make Starfighter-style games look at Star Citizen as an example and see that they're producing a Starfighter game. And the development cost is $300 million. And they shit themselves Which is why we had, when Star Citizen first showed up on the scene, we had a small number of them start popping up, and then they've almost died off again. I was sort of hoping Star Wars would be very successful, or Squadrons would be very successful, so that it could be pointed to as the example of, no, you don't need $300 million, you just need a competent studio and a decent budget, and you can make a really good Starfighter game in 2020 and beyond. And Star Citizen is an aberration. It's got $300 million and it's doing its own thing. So, just, you know, we don't need the big money. Unfortunately, if it doesn't do well, anybody pointing at it is going to go, well, there's no money in Starfighters and we're not going to see the genre take off again and it's not going to make money. It's actually the same issue that MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries had. I really hoped that was going to be really good as well, to show that the mech combat genre, there are people here waiting for good games. To those who, you know, the guys who sign the checks don't play games. They're board members, they're suits. And unfortunately, it wasn't a very good game, so I don't know if we'll be able to get a crack at another one. Thankfully, Battletech may have saved that, because Battletech was very good, to show that there's interest in big mech-type games, so we might see a return to Mech Commander. Speaking of which, I'll have something on Mech Commander soon. But, yeah. Mercenaries had exactly the same problem. It needed to be good to show that those kind of games would work again, and we might actually see a return to form for the MechWarrior series. We might see stuff like, you know, Heavy Gear, Cyberstorm, Mission Force Cyberstorm come back. That was a Sierra title that somebody owns now, and it was really good back in the day as well, and it hasn't seen the light of day since the death of Sierra. Maybe somebody will pull that out of the mothballs and do something with it. But, yeah, unfortunately, MechWarrior 5 Mercenaries wasn't the game for it, and I'm worried that Squadrons might have the same issue. It'll actually wind up doing more harm than good when it comes to trying to get these games produced by AAA studios. Because, realistically, they should be able to be made on a really low budget. Very tight budget for a very vast game overall. It's based in space, for Christ's sake. It's not like you've got to render huge, flowing graphical worlds, but yes. Well, that's the other thing. Crimson Skies is another one that I would like to see. A simulation-style flight game, but based in fantasy, that respects physics. You can do that. War Thunder proves it. I've said for ages, War Thunder, for all of Gaijin's issues that they've had over the years, this engine that they've built and the control system that they've built would be perfect for a Crimson Skies game. You could build a fantastic Crimson Skies game inside of the War Thunder engine, and it would work. It would work really well. And it would work for joystick, it would work for, yeah. See if we can knock this 109 out. Although, well, the A36 might have him. I don't want to... Yeah, he's smoking. Yeah, it looks like the A36 has got him. I don't want to cut the, well, no, the A36 is fireballed. I was about to say I don't want to mow the A36's lawn, but he looks like he's already been done. Elite Dangerous is a great game. It's a little shallow, but it's a great game. But it's a different beast altogether. It's not a combat starfighter game. It has combat in it. But, Elite Dangerous is Euro Truck Simulator in space. Elite Dangerous is a fantastic example of for bringing back things like iWar, or anything that involves space trading games, things like Privateer. it's a fantastic talking point for bringing back more of those. But as a genuine, dedicated starfighter title, it's not great because its combat isn't great. The story of not Star Citizen, Elite Dangerous is told in the vastness of the number of planets you can go to, the scale that everything appears, and the complexity of its economy. And in those things, it's great. There's no problem with it at all. Once I've got the 1080p streaming sorted out, I'm probably going to be doing some Elite Dangerous as well. I've got it installed right now. I've been contemplating actually deleting my old save and starting again from scratch and trying just to see, in 2020 current patch, what's it take to actually build yourself up to dangerous level. Oh, don't. Oh. He tanked it. I was a bit worried I was going to pop the nose off the F4U then. Probably should have held that shot. But come on, who wants to come down here and fight the Zero? Don't make me climb all the way back up there. You're gonna make me climb all the way back up there. I've only got 90 cannon rounds as well too, so I've probably only got one more kill. Oh no, I might be able to stretch it out to 2. Depends on how well I shoot. He's running 340. Yeah, I can deal with a 340 ping. Chat. I like ED's combat, but often there's no reason to engage in it. The arena exists, and unfortunately it's kind of ruined the point of seeking out combat game because of piracy was never worth the effort. Well, yeah, that is a thing, but I've flown a lot of space combat, and my first Elite Dangerous pass all the way up to Anaconda was done completely on bounty hunting. I didn't do trading at all. I barely did exploration, which is one of the things I really enjoy in ED. Excuse me. LA5's mine, thank you very much. I do like what Gaijin has done with the sounds here. The planes sound just chunky now as they're flying around. AI's at low level. There's just really that P40 up there now. But yeah, I did go up through the combat, so I know the combat system, and it's not the worst combat system I've used by any means, but it's not particularly deep. There's some systems in there that in the earlier days of Elite Dangerous, in particular the turn rates and your ability to drift to thruster drift, that used to exist, that they nerfed into oblivion. They sort of changed some of the weapon systems. They made it less appealing to use fixed guns, although you can still perform fantastically and you will do higher damage with fixed guns. But they changed the damage difference between what the fixed guns were and what the auto-targeting guns were, and narrowed that gap, so that while you will still do better with the fixed guns, the performance difference is small enough now that using something gimbaled is not gonna hurt your damage overall unless you're really trying to mid-max. And for general bounty hunting and most of the combat in the game, yeah, you don't need to min-max at all. And one of the biggest issues with its combat is because frankly, the cheating. Because most of the servers were set up... It was set up so it ran local based to an end client. Like, it's not... Forget the description for it. But everything... A chunk of the area that you're in runs on your home server, or on your home client. So you can actually manipulate some of the settings, which was a massive issue. I know they've done massive steps to address it, But it was a problem earlier on, and that did massive damage to the multiplayer. It's why most people, that at least that I know, tend to fly Elite Dangerous now on closed private servers with passwords. They don't let anybody else in. They don't interact with the greater community at all. They just fly on their own and only let their own mates come in. So, yeah, it's by no means the worst that I have ever seen, but it's not a particularly great example of that type of combat. Can I get him? Boom! Thank you. Kind of dirty getting him in on the runway, but I'll take it. I'll get out of here before AAA decides to ventilate my aircraft. At least they were polite enough to let me kill him before I started firing, and that was the last vehicle. Nice. Yeah. Yeah, they're reduced in size due to the griefers. Yeah, that's the issue with it. It's, as I said, Elite Dangerous is a great example of open world, and a great example of the freeform stuff, but it's not particularly great. Go hug the AA. No, dead meat, not a chance in hell. It's not a great example for the combat side. It's what we needed to see come back was mission-based space combat, which is what Star Wars Squadron's single-player campaign is. But for some reason, the developers chose, instead of making a really good single-player campaign, or even a mediocre single-player campaign, frankly, it's been, 21 years since the last one of these was released. A mediocre single-player campaign would have been fine. But they chose to turn the entire single-player campaign into nothing more than a tutorial, and it breaks it. Like, it just does. I watched Angry Joe's review of it, and I couldn't understand what the fuck he was saying. I couldn't understand. Like, I was curious, did we play a different game? Because, like, he was overawed with the visuals, and the single-player campaign is so fantastic and so awesome. The single-player campaign is garbage. The voice acting shit. It feels unfinished. The missions are mediocre at best. The gameplay is fucking terrible. There's a couple of missions in there that are just straight rage-inducing. It's very pretty, but it's shit. And then there's a tutorial and all the crap that goes through it as well, where they lock off systems. Actually, I wonder if I can show this to you. Little bit of a... no, I'll save that for a later video. I've got a perfect video showing exactly how fucked the tutorials can get. And, there's a... Got here. 8 years of victories. Okay, fair enough. There is a tutorial in one of the missions coming up that I got that wants you to do... It's a repeat tutorial of one you got earlier on, telling you how to boost power. To, when you're flying Imperial ships. Boost dump power into your lasers, dump power into your engines. Do the power transfer thing. Which you've been doing all along, and you've already had a tutorial for it. But this time it wants you to use the basic controls. Now, I only had the advanced controls bound up, and the advanced controls aren't good enough. So it locks up the game, and locks up your controls, until you have exited out and rebound the basic controls, so that you can go back into the tutorial, because the tutorial will not clear unless you hit the buttons for the basic controls. Now, if you manage to get the tutorial to drop down without hitting the buttons, which you can do if you smash the buttons enough, it locks up every control in your starfighter and makes you fly in a perfectly straight line. You cannot turn, you cannot pull the trigger, you cannot activate any other system. It will not let you do anything until you stop and rebind your controls to the basic controls that it wants, and then go back into the game and press the buttons that it wants you to press, and then it'll make you go back into the tutorial, into the controls again, to rebind your original controls. That's Star Wars Squadrons tutorials. And it completely fucked the game. And it actually had that big of an error that while I was trying to exit in and out of the tutorial, while the tutorial had my starfighter locked up and I was trying to rebind the controls to give it what it wanted, it crashed the game to desktop. Yep, buttons are hard-coded into the tutorial, and there's no way to turn the tutorials off. So you hit a point, and it wants you to hit a specific button. But a lot of the systems, when you go into HoTaS controls, this wouldn't matter to somebody with playing on an Xbox controller. But or even a mouse and keyboard to a certain extent. But if you're playing with a HoTaS, there's actually two sets of controls. You've got a basic set and you've got an advanced set. The advanced set is designed for full HoTaS users, but the tutorial is hard-coded to the basic controls. So if you use the controls that are designed for a HoTaS with a HoTaS, you will not be able to advance past some of the controls without unbinding the controls that are designed for the HoTaS and binding up the controls that are designed for a game controller. Of course, after you press the button and get past the tutorial, you will then have to rebind to the controls for the HoTaS in order to make things function. That is Star Wars Squadrons in a nutshell. Like, right there. And that's the entire single-player campaign. The tutorial missions, which is 2 missions right at the start, and 14 missions after. So, yeah. And it's about as fun as it sounds. And to top it off, the story was shit. It wasn't worth playing anyway. What are we going to drive? I'm going to drive a tank this time. Actually, I'm sorry, guys. That is my phone. Just one moment. Well, that was inconvenient timing. Alright. No, that one. No, not... Now, let's see if we can pop this back up. Why is that black again? Why is it doing that? Hey, there we go, it's back up. No, not Disney music, just one of the default Samsung ringtones on the A70. Nothing particularly special about it. We'll take out Germany. I was thinking about getting Squadrons, but fuck that. Yeah, look, I know a few people that have refunded it, and I don't blame them. As I said, the multiplayer is good, but I'm concerned about how long its legs are going to have. Because it has already developed a meta, and there's very little point to moving off the meta. And the single-player campaign... Yeah, I said it in one of the previous videos. I might play through it again, just to play through it in VR when I've got my my new headset coming in. But yeah, I don't think I will. Honestly, I've reached the point with it now. I've had that many issues. Having those issues while I'm trying to play VR in my sim pit. Yeah, no. I might play the multiplayer. I'll play them. You know, I probably will play the multiplayer in VR, but I won't be doing the single player thing in it. Not again. I'll be completing this playthrough, and I'm basically completing the playthrough because I've started it. I want to finish it, and I want to. I want it there as a reference point. So when I start comparing what modders have done to the 1999 X-Wing Alliance engine, you have a point of reference. This is what a AAA studio did. This is what a guy in his backyard did with an engine that is 2 decades old. It is a pretty game, I'll give it that much though. It's a very pretty game. You know, never know. They might in the long run end up patching in the ability to turn the tutorial off. That would improve things significantly, because then it would be it wouldn't be a terrible campaign. It'd be a crap campaign that you could still have good arcadey fun in, because in the end, it's a crap campaign where you're blasting around in an X-Wing and a TIE fighter, which does have something. Somebody got nailed up here. Oh. Thank you. That does have something going for it. Oh. Alright, hey, Stug 42. Yeah, you go. You've got more armor up front than I do. You be my meat shield. I'll make sure you get a second shot. Or 415 ping. Somebody's going to come through there in a second, I reckon. Yeah, that's somebody blasting the hell out of the building from this side. Come on. Come on, poke your head through. There is adamant, which is nice. God, how many friggin' artillery strikes did get dropped on this spot? Come on, move up. Somebody's got to get up around that corner if they want to try and take A. Because you've got to secure this flank. Come on. Another artillery. They know I'm sitting here and they're not going to drive that corner. Well, maybe that wasn't A. No. I might have to back it off. It looks like we're losing it. How? How are you idiots losing the cap? Stop it. I guess about there. You know what? I'm going to take that arch. Thank you. That's one of yous. That may have been the dirty little... Yeah, that was. That was the dirty little bastard that was holding up the cap too. Ow, 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 ow. Where the hell was that? Oh, it's coming off to the right. The ping's bad enough I'm not getting traces here. Oh, and that was my track. Angle, angle, angle. Sherman 2. Oh well, got 2. The amount of times I've been able to shoot smoke into a TD's face and then drive up to his side, it's hilarious. Yeah, I've done that a couple of times in the past too. Panzer 3, yeah. Yeah, let's do the N. Let's do the N. The N is fun. This is such a cute little gun on it. Besides, somebody's got to get in there and push A anyway. Ultimate Admiral Dreadnoughts is pretty solid. They're now working on a campaign. Yeah, Ultimate Admirals is great. Also, Age of Sail. I've got that installed on at the moment. I've been considering doing something on it, but I've been trying to thin down the number of non-sort of milsim, aircraft simulation titles on the channel. I'm thinking about actually firing up a second channel specifically for things like RPGs and strategy games and the rest, just to separate them off, because I know a lot of people that are into the flight sim stuff just aren't interested into any of the RPGs and any of the strategy stuff. Not even the Star Wars stuff that I've put up there. So I'm contemplating doing a second channel just to deal with that. Shots off to the right there. Hello, T-34. Turn the gun before we drive the corner. Yeah, can I get out and get another shot into this thing? Yep. Oh, shit. Angle, 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 angle. No. No, we've lost this. Yeah, we've lost that cap. I'm going to see if there's any aircraft to take down before I go. And then I better wind that one up. The phone call coming through before was actually the missus. She's out and about doing delivery trick-or-treating this year with my boys. You know, the COVID stuff has prevented anybody from being able to do the proper Halloween trick-or-treating door-to-door. So the missus is driving around and delivering lollies to all of my boys' mates and everybody else themselves. They all got all dressed up, and they're delivering the candy rather than doing the walk thing. So it should be a bit of fun for them, but they'll be home soon, so I'll have to end this one. Might come back a little bit later on tonight. I think Tal, who's in chat at the moment, wanted to do a bit of Among Us tonight. We might be able to fit that one in. And then there's probably going to be some streams during the week too, guys. I'm not sure exactly what they'll be, but I'm probably only going to be doing a couple of videos this week. Mostly, probably IL2 will be one of the main ones. I'll be doing a Cold Waters one as well, and a couple of others just to tidy up. But most of that's going to be, but just basically because I've got to clear the next 2 weeks. This is the last 2 weeks of school, and I've got essentially exams and assignments over the next 2 weeks, so I don't have the time to actually do the videos. So I'm going to try and make up with it by doing a couple of hours of streaming either every day or every other day. Got no aircraft up at all. They're all still in tanks down there. either a couple of hours of streaming every day, or every other day, and then just do a couple of the main videos that I'm running at the moment. Is the goal. Anti-aircraft gun. And yeah, there's nothing up here. Damn it. Oh, wait. No. I thought I saw something moving then, but it wasn't what I thought. No. Alright. And there's the mission failed. Hey, Sergeant Paul, thank you very much for the subscription. 29 months. Well, hopefully now I'll actually be able to start earning the subscriptions. As I said in the last stream, the looks like it's running a little jerky and dropping a few frames at the moment, but the streaming quality is now stable at as good as I used to get. But I've currently got this connection under investigation, and hopefully, I'll be able to get up a very stable 1080p 30 stream soon enough, and that'll be the end of it there. Anyways, guys, mate, when's the honeymoon? Already had the honeymoon. 10 days of autumn. Yes, 10 days of autumn is the one I'll be running through. That'll be the IL-2 stuff. I'll be continuing the Cold Waters campaign, and I'm probably going to try and fit some DCS and some Microsoft Flight Simulator in as well. But that's probably all I'm going to be able to do during the week, and then I will just have some various streams popping up here and there. I've actually got one. I said before I had something in regards to Mech Commander. I became aware, because I've been thinking about doing some, playing some retro games. Just play back some old games, old titles from the 90s, because we've been discussing them here for most of today. They're absolutely fantastic. Well, I found out that, speaking of modders, somebody decided to do a 1080p overhaul to the original Mech Commander, integrate all of the expansion pack content, as well as a whole bunch of new missions, upgrade all of the models, and redo everything in order to make a full HD version of the game. Essentially a full HD remaster with extras of Mech Commander Gold. It took him about 1.5 to 2 years to do it, and it was released at the end of last year, and I had no idea it existed. Well, I downloaded it now, so I've got it installed on... I'm going to install it on this afternoon, so I'm probably going to play through that. Because Mech Commander was absolutely fantastic, and a HD version of it with a full overhaul by somebody who is, passionate about the series, that's only going to be great to play. But anyways, guys, I'm going to end this one here. Thank you very much for jumping in. Hope you enjoyed the submarine combat. Hope the stream was stable enough. And, yeah, might be back on later on tonight. Catch you later.